I, like many financial professionals, have had an estate plan in place for years, and it mostly reflects my current wishes. But there's just a couple of tweaks here and there that I would change, I would update, and it's been on my radar for months. But it sits there untouched, and it's not because I don't understand how important it is. I've got all the designations. I know what happens if something happens to me. The legal documents reflect my old wishes, and those tweaks aren't going to get in there. And it's not because I don't have the time or don't have access. There's just no emotional urgency. It feels boring. And I get it. I understand the IQ side of this. I understand how silly that sounds from the outside looking in. But this is just a tiny little sliver example of how clients might not be ready to implement our advice. Real financial decisions need to connect to our emotions. Action follows emotion, not facts and data. So even when a client says they might be ready, they might not actually be ready. So this is why emotional intelligence, or EQ, has to come before IQ. Both are important. But if you start with IQ without the EQ, it's not likely to be implemented. Okay? And the issues that your clients are experiencing aren't always obvious. Your plan might be perfectly sound. Your analysis completely perfect. But if it doesn't match what your client's feeling on the inside, it might not matter even at all. So they might have something actually going on. They could have had something else that's stealing their attention. And if there's something distracting them, some grief, or they're worried about something that they don't feel safe talking about, or they don't feel like they want to talk about, then those Monte Carlo results, the recommendations, the plan, it's not going to work. You might as well start over. And it could even be like, I don't even feel like you heard me. Maybe you gave me some advice before actually hearing me out. That's possible too. And in that case, I'm not in a position to listen or to implement that advice. So we're trying to build trust with clients. And when they trust us, they're more likely to implement our advice. But that trust needs an emotional foundation. It sits on a solid foundation of emotional intelligence. Okay? Emotional intelligence is what lets you pause your agenda when you notice something that wasn't said, or noticed something that's being held back. It helps you read the room to see, how is the client receiving this message. Okay? Emotional intelligence helps you build trust. It gives you a foundation upon which that trust can sit. And without EQ, if it's just a cracked foundation. So without that emotional intelligence, trust has nothing to sit on. So great advice delivered without empathy, without emotional intelligence, can feel cold or even threatening. I might even feel offended. So emotional intelligence builds that trust, or gives you a foundation for that trust to live on. But without it, even the best advice falls apart. So we're leading with empathy. We're leading with emotional connection. So motivation can feel like a lock. Like, I don't know how to unlock this client's motivation. One of my most popular talks is working with clients who resist your advice because I can't seem to motivate them. Clients don't follow advice just because it's good advice. They don't follow advice just because it's rational. They follow it when it feels right. So emotional intelligence is the key that unlocks motivation. When you can connect with a client emotionally, when you can connect your advice to their emotions, when you can connect advice to their heart, all of a sudden their intrinsic motivation wakes up. Okay, so this is not to say that the IQ side, the technical expertise, doesn't matter. It 100% matters. It just needs to sit on that solid foundation of emotions. Emotions drive behavior, and when we can connect with clients, we can connect them to their values, and they'll follow our advice. Hey, Derek Hagen here at Money Quotient. If this was interesting to you, if this is something that you want to learn more about, this is the kind of thing that we teach at Money Quotient. We teach financial advisors communication skills, facilitation techniques, we teach them about life planning, and basically it all comes down to Stephen Covey's quote, what good is climbing a ladder if it's leaning against the wrong wall? Or if the ladder you're climbing isn't leaning against the right wall, every step you take just gets you to the wrong place faster. So we help advisors, help clients identify the right wall. So if this is interesting to you, head on over to moneyquotient.com. You can learn about our True Wealth planning process, which is our model of financial life planning, which guides clients through 5 stages and 4 inquiry categories. These are the types of conversations that you have. So please let me know if you want to learn more, moneyquotient.com.